Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Somehow this set slipped through the cracks this year in 2025, but right here at the end I was able to pick it up and add it to the ranks of my Joes. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the Hasbro G.I. Joe All Striker and Crankcase. If Saturday morning cartoons fueled your imagination as a kid and powers your action figure collecting now as an adult, then you're in the right place. Thanks for stopping by and welcome to Saturday Morning Toy Collector. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing. Over the past year, Articulated Empire has become your trusted online retailer. They carry all the latest lines like Mythic Legions, Valaverse, AWOC, Zesray Studios, and much, much more. They ship your items quickly and securely. You'll be quite happy with how Steve and his team follow through with their care and attention. Articulated Empire also offers free shipping over $75 and no tax except for Illinois residents. So head over to articulatedempire.com today and build your empire. Wow, okay, so this thing is almost too big for my review space that I have here. It is kind of funny to me that they label this as Crankcase and All Striker and not bill the All Striker first, Crankcase second, but hey, whatever they got to do. This Crankcase figure is really the selling point for me because he looks great with all his different looks. Of course, I want to add the All Striker to my arsenal, but it's not something that I necessarily have to have. But this Crankcase looks way better than he should. I don't think I'm going to be able to show you the art. I just can't back my camera up far enough in my little area here. But here is a closer look at some of the details. We've got some map GPS system going on here. It looks like maybe a shot of the console inside the driver's seat, the rear of the vehicle. And then we can see just about everything that it comes with. It says Crankcase stands 6.4 inches tall. Here's either the All Striker stats or Crankcase's stats, who knows. And then they are calling it the All Weather and Environment Striker. So number 171 in the lineup. All right, let's get this big guy opened up, out of the package, put together, stickered. If there are stickers, I don't know. And then, so the next time you see this, I do want to show you guys what it looks like in the box. So let me show you that now. All right, here it is opened up. It's still in the package. You can see that the wheels are already installed. You do have to install like the little canopy. Here's a little box of goodies here. I don't know what's underneath there. Some more of the roll cage, it looks like. And then we do have this pretty large ammo crate or pelican case, whatever you want to call it. It has a cutout here. Crankcase and all weather and environment striker there. And then we do have an envelope of stickers, instruction manuals, and all of the like. So now let's get this thing opened up, put together, and check it out. All right, here we have the All Striker. And as you can see, I did go with the alligator, crocodile, what have you, design right here on both sides. I didn't go with the dog or the shark. I almost went with the shark, but I thought the alligator, the green on green, looked better. If they did this in tan, which they could possibly do in the future, doing the dog might be really nice. That'd be kind of cool. The instructions are really neat in, telling you like where you can place stuff. And of course, it's all just suggestions really, because like the little items, they all fit on the same foot peg as the same pegs as the feet. So like if you wanted to put, put the toolbox back here, you certainly could. If you wanted to move like where the gas can is, you can move the stuff around. And I really do like that. I love this toolkit actually. And immediately the first thing I thought of was the wrench that comes with CoverGirl, so now I think we have like a shovel, and I have a few things. I think I need to go through my accessory bin and see what I can fit in there and kit out. Didn't like who came with the vamp clutch. Like, didn't he come with some tools? Maybe we can put that in here. But you also get this gas can, which is pretty neat. You can, do we have we don't know if we have another one of these or if it's a ammo box that I'm thinking of. But one of the cool things, I guess, because of the nature of the suspension of how the tires are affixed, but that you do not put the tires on, as you saw, like in the box. These already come pre-assembled. You do have some realistic suspension. It's independent, so you can like move it independently of each other. You've got a working winch right here, which is really cool. I think I would have probably preferred this rope to be either, black, a green, an olive drab to match the vehicle would have been really nice, but black. I do like the clear plastic lenses on the lights. Encased in the plastic. That looks really cool. You've got some tampos. All of this is tampo. Some distress on the star, which I like. Grease 84 type G, 84 being a nice little throwback. And then you've got an ammo crate right here, one of two, and thankfully these plug in, unlike the ones on the Vamp, which were always coming loose. But this has already got like a curve to it. You do put this gun on. It's part of the little pieces that you put together, and it has a little up and down lever action, and then it does rotate, and you can feed the belt in there. So you can do that. All of this stuff here on the top, you put this on as well. So you have these two rockets, which are, rocket launchers. They plug in. There's no handles for I guess you could probably figure out how to put this on a Joe's shoulder if you wanted to, and then you just have some one rocket each that kind of fits in there with friction, holds it in. It would have been nice if there had been some blast effects. But here's the thing: we've got so many blast effects. I'm sure pulling some old blast effects would work just fine. You do, again, have another ammo crate here affixed to this gun. Now, this gun, I will say, was extremely hard to press onto the peg to the top. It does rotate. It rotates side to side, and it does have some elevation change for that big gun. You have another flick peg here. You do put these very stiff, very thick antennas on. You put on this roll cage. It already comes with the tampo. It says, watch your head. And then we've got the Mark 00325. Down there. I don't know what those numbers are for. And yeah, so you've got a seat back here. You can, I guess this is all modular. So if you wanted to take this off and take the seat out, you certainly could, yeah, if you wanted to. And I think Gridiron has already started making parts and pieces to this, or did Gridiron they're making their own vehicle? I can't remember. Let's see here. I don't remember. Does this engine cover come off? Yes, it does. So you've got like the little engine cover back here. You can see the engine, and you can have the Joes like working on it. No paint back there. That would have been nice. You do have a little hook right here, so it can pull like your missile system or anything like that. 2 more foot pegs. And then here on the engine cover, you do get warning, intake cover, danger, hot exhaust, latch, the little star. Get some nice, so no paint on the motor or engine itself, but lots of little tampos back there on the back. Again, bringing it all the way back around, and you can put foot pegs there. The inside is really cool. Let's see. I may have to just take everything off. In here, you do have the steering wheel. You have the working gear shift. You have the emergency brake. Sorry, I don't think you could see that a minute ago. You do have the working gear shift. You have the emergency brake, and then you do have a little communications like walkie-talkie that comes loose, and you can use that, put that in their hands, and then reconnect it back right there. You've got some little tampo dials right here, and then like a GPS system, more stickers. These are stickers, sorry, not tampo, but you don't put them on. They come pre-installed. And then one of the things we haven't looked at yet, but it does come with a coffee mug, and you can put the coffee mug. Is it going to fit in, or am I going to drop it? It does plug in, so you can put your little coffee mug in there if you want. And I'm assuming the ones that are coming with the Snowcat will fit in here as well. So yeah, let me get all the stuff put back on this thing, and let's take a look at, for me, the star of this set. All right, here we have Crankcase, who I got to be honest with you. I don't know if I even remember having Crankcase as a kid or even seeing Crankcase as a kid. But I got to tell you, this guy right here is phenomenal. Probably one of my favorite Joe releases of the year. First of all, that dope head sculpt is really nice. And I love the like little sweater vest he has on. It's giving me straight up dial tone vibes. The rolled up sleeves. I do have a little spot right there on his shoulder that I don't like. We do have the Joe logo here. Look at that nice dope haircut. I do love his web gear that he has on, the belt, the pants, the gold buckle that's got like an eagle on it, I believe. And then he does have a knife sheath down here. He does come with a knife, very simple combat knife, silver blade, black handle, nothing special. We could put that there. He does come with a standard pistol, you know, just a generic pistol. So we can put that right there. Let's see how easy this will be. Sometimes the holsters give you a hard time and sometimes they don't. That one does not. That's pretty nice. And then he does come with the old school style Duke binoculars, which are very nice. And then he does come with tons of gear, headgear, to customize this guy any way you'd like. So he does come with, first, let's start off with the piece I don't like at all, is like this dirt bike or rally style helmet, that bright green, little hit of silver on this otherwise kind of grayish brown color. I'm just not a fan of this. I mean, it's a nice sculpt, but to me, this is more like cross-country motorbikes, ATVs than this dune buggy. It's just me. I think it looks nice. It's just not my cup of tea. It just doesn't look good to me. So mine will probably go in an accessory bin and never see the light of day again. But he does have a couple of other options. Oh, the other thing, I didn't show this off, but I just showed it in the car a minute ago, which is the Yo Joe coffee mug, which I love. I love anytime you have a Joe coming with coffee, I'm down for it. He does come with this nice little, little sun visor, which is really cool. It says off-road. I think that's just so cool that he comes with this. That's pretty neat. And then he does come with a set of goggles, which, you know, you can either keep them up on the head, you can put them down over the eyes, you can put them on with this. It's a little tricky. And then he does have his regular combat style helmet, same color as the other helmet with just some brown straps painted. And I do think this looks really cool. But what's really neat is he comes with two different styles of bandana. He has one that goes up over his mouth and nose, and then one that hangs around his neck. So let's take a look at what those look like. And then you can mix and match these in any kind of combination to get all kinds of different looks for this guy. So if you wanted this down and have, you know, this up, you know, you could go this route, which I think looks really cool. I love that little scarf around his neck. Or let's take this off. Let's, I think you kind of have to put this on. Let's see, how do we do this? Let's put this on. There we go. And then why don't we go ahead and put the goggles down on that as well. And then you can either go with this style of helmet. You could put the bike helmet on if you want, but I kind of like this look here. And that's pretty dope. I just love that you can customize his look many different ways and kit him out however you'd like. And I'm loving this Joe, like top 10 Joes of the year. I'm not going to lie. Now let's go over to the other review space that I have set up and let's do a little size comparison between the All Striker and the Vamp. And here we have the two, the All Striker sitting next to the Vamp. I have a couple of Joes in there that I even had two more that I pulled off. But just to show you guys, I think that they're very comparable in size. They're almost exactly the same size. So about the same width from the front, and then definitely like front to back. I do believe they're very similar. Maybe the All Striker is just a touch longer
Let's see here, line them up with the front grills. And then, yeah, I would say that the All Striker is just a touch longer, I'd say. And then just a little bit taller because of the roll bar. But yeah, let's compare this to one more vehicle that you may also have in your collection. And of course, that would be the Valaverse Vanguard. I have the muddy version here, which you guys may have remembered me reviewing. I think I reviewed this thing outside actually. But yeah, you can see that it's definitely lower than the Vanguard, but they scale very well with one another. Tire difference there, you can see much bigger. And then from the front, yeah, they're about the same width. Maybe the Vanguard's a little bit wider, but yeah, they're definitely going to play well together if you want to have both of these in your same play space or on your shelf together. And there you have it. There is a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Series All Striker and a Crankcase. Like I said, I am absolutely loving this set. I'm not sure why I postponed it when it first came out. I think maybe I had a lot coming out at that time, and I was just like, I can skip this. I really don't have space for it. And I probably at the time I still had my Joes out on my shelf, and I was like, I don't want to lay out my entire back shelf of Joes just for this one vehicle. That's probably why I postponed it. But man, I'm kicking myself for doing that because this thing is fire. Thankfully, we haven't hit winter yet here in Florida. Our winter really doesn't start for another few weeks. So before it gets too chilly outside, I really need to get this guy out into some Floridian backdrops and really do some photography with this, because I think some outdoor photography with this guy would be great. And then, dude, seriously, Crankcase, top 10 Joes of the year. I'm not lying. This thing is just, I love his look. And it's not even a character that necessarily I even remember having as a kid. I couldn't even tell you what he looks like, but he definitely wasn't this cool. And all the ways you can kid him out and make him your own, I'm just here for it. So yeah, this is a top release, no doubt. And if this thing ever goes on clearance or ever gets reduced in price, jump on it. But as it stands right now, it is currently in stock on Hasbro Pulse, where I do believe it is a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. It's the only place I think you can order it, and it's still in stock for regular prices. So thank you guys for tuning into this very long video. I super appreciate it. Please continue to check out our podcast called Across the Toyverse. Comes out every 2 weeks wherever you download your podcast. And be sure to check us out over at Instagram at Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I am your Saturday Morning Toy Collector, Mark, and I'll see you in the toy aisles.